Hey everybody, this is our font presentation. The font we were assigned is Avenir. Hi, I'm Tyler.
And I'm John. Researching the font helped me to understand how much work and time a designer can put into something as simple as changing a letter. Avenir is a simple design with the purpose to be a common font in the business world.
This font is one that I would use to add elegance and simplicity to a project. It gives an overall clean and easy to read feel. I personally would buy this font outside of this class if the price was reasonable.
It was the hardest typeface I have ever worked on in my life. Working on it, I had always had human nature in mind, and what's crucial is that I developed the typeface alone, in peace and quiet. No drafting assistance, no one was there. My personality is stamped upon it. I am proud that I was able to create Avenir. Adrian Frutiger.
Frutiger was born on May 24, 1928, in Unterseen, Canton of Bern, Switzerland. He began to experiment in his stylized handwriting at a very young age. He defined the cursive penmanship that was taught at Swiss schools. Since both his parents were weavers, they did not take interest in the idea of Frutiger becoming a sculptor. But they did, however, support the idea of him going into print.
At the age of 16, he began his apprenticeship for a 4-year period as a compositor to the printer Otto Schaffer. He also attended School of Applied Arts in Krusengrossesplaya in Zurich at this time. Frutiger studied under art instructors like Walter Koch and Alfred Willmann, observing monumental inscriptions from Roman Forum rubbings, but his primary focus was on calligraphy rather than drafting tools.
His meticulous skill and knowledge of letter forms and his illustrated essay on the development of European letter types that were carved into wood earned him a job at the French foundry Derbende Egg Pignot, owned by Charles Pignot. His job was to convert extant typefaces for the new Linotype equipment, photo typesetting. Frutiger released his first commercial typeface, President, in 1954. He would then go on to create more typefaces such as Ondine, Meridian, and Egyptian at the Derbende Egg Pignot.
Frutiger would learn at this foundry to design different types of fonts for these different typefaces. Example of these different types fonts would include light, book, Roman, medium, heavy, and black. Each of these would have their own variant of oblique as well. This provided a guideline for the fonts that he would create for Avenir.
The Derbende and Pignot foundry is now part of the Linotype foundry located in Woburn, Massachusetts. The only serious challenger for the Anglo-American monotype book production company is its rival, the Linotype Company, that was founded in the United States in the year 1886. The Linotype Company began to market the photo typesetting machine invented by Ottmar Mergenthaler that casts metal types in rows. These metal type casts are referred to as glyphs and ligatures. Each have to be lined up individually into the machine to make each page.
The different types of glyphs in Avenir are basic Latin and English letters, diacrises, and the currency. The glyph set was lengthened in Avenir next to circumscribe the various features such as old style figures, small caps, and superscripts. The ligatures in Avenir are Central Europe, Baltic, Turkish, Romanian, Greek modern, dingbats, symbols, and other open types.
The next job Frutiger took was upon request of the Public Transport Authority of Paris. Frutiger's job was to inspect the Paris metro signage. He recreated Universe typeface in a variant font, and designed it in a way that could be more visible for white on dark blue backgrounds and poor lighting. Under the successful rendition, he was commissioned again, but this time for the new Charles de Gaulle International Airport. His job was to find a way to make signage alphabet both legible from afar and from any angle. He fused Universe with the organic influences of Eric Gilles' Sans typeface, which resulted in Roise. This font was later named Frutiger in 1976. This job would foreshadow the original design of Avenir. The differing weights were closely grouped together, making them hard to distinguish from one another. He later would release weights with more space in between each letter in order to make the weights more visible on different mediums and colors.
The rise of the computer in the 20th century soon made the Linotype machine become irrelevant. Avenir was originally designed in 1988 as one of the first PC-based fonts. This was because the goal of the 20th century artists was to make the letters very legible, going from metal types to digital in this day and age. The technological process developed a style that was from legibility and beauty to stand together. Somewhere between 2004 and 2007, Adrian Frutiger, along with the Linotype in-house type designer Arakea Kushabi, reworked the Avenir family to address on-screen display issues. The next combined typeface was titled Avenir Next. The release of the new typeface increased up to 24 fonts, each with the Roman italic version. The new numbering system was forgotten and changed to more favorable weight names. The new sets of weight names are ultralight, thin, regular, medium, semi-bold, bold, and heavy. Avenir Next is very popular with on-screen phone applications.
Frutiger went on to expand and modify these typefaces, creating 63 variants of Universe and adding extensions to typefaces such as Frutiger Next for the original Frutiger, a system in which he created a palette of typographic variations all lined up with differing weights was iconic in the design of Universe. His palette is a great way to see the variations of one font all in one easy formal system. He won several awards such as the Gutenberg Prize, Medal of the Type Directors Club, and the Typography Award from Soda.
Jana is an Arabic typeface, based off of Avenir, that was designed by Nadine Shaheen in 2004. The purpose of this design was for the University of Beirut. The differences between Avenir and Jana are the Arabic glyphs that are more angular. The new fonts gets used to support iOS, Adobe, Latin Extended, Arabic, Persian, and Urdu characters. Avenir is described by Frutiger as a geometric sans serif with a human touch. Unlike the cold mechanical flavor of Futura, this reason why Avenir is named the way it is a direct reference to being what Futura is not. Avenir's French meaning future, or to come up with, references that this is a new age and a time for more fonts with the human touch. The style that Avenir brings is one that is eligible to be used not only for display purposes, but also for large body of text. The different variations of Avenir make it possible to be used in many different formats and mediums. Examples include billboards, books, blogs, and graphics. This simple, crisp typeface is one that brings an organized atmosphere to a body of text. This typeface would not be seen on many posters, advertising, bands, cartoons, or horror movies. However, this text is a more elegant form that would be most appropriate to formal to semi-formal projects. It can be seen sometimes used almost as a garnish to another type of the font, describing a product or service.
Adrian Frutiger died fairly recently on September 10, 2015, at the age of 87 in Bremgarten, Switzerland. Frutiger designed a total of 77 fonts during his lifetime. The quality of draftsmanship, rather than the intellectual idea behind it, is my masterpiece. A quote from Adrian Frutiger when describing the process of creating the font Avenir. This sans serif typeface is described by many to possess a compelling elegance due to its quote-unquote human touch.